Morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday, the first day of July 2026. I hope you're all safe and healthy as we are now firmly into the summer. I hope your family is safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family on this July 1st, needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the area of health, along with first responders doing their best every day to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children, victims of child molestation and pedophilia. Those that are helping the people that are victims of prostitution, child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, profiteers, and those perverts that create demands that cause these evil industries to exist. And finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, military veterans, homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Okay, this is free agent time in the NBA. For the Knicks, it's unfortunate that we still have a lot of people calling themselves fans after the Knicks just won the championship that are still acting like this is the Knicks from 10 years ago or so. This is a different situation right now. And in order for someone to understand that, you have to understand that this is not the Knicks of 10 years ago. This is not the Knicks management of 10 years ago. Leon Rose, the Don, and all his crew that work with him, understand, I've been a Knicks fan for more than 50 years. This is the best front office by far that the Knicks has ever had. The best front office. Leon Rose, Walt Perrin, heading the scout, Brock Aller on the capologist, and others. This is the best front office, worldwide west, that the Knicks have ever had. They keep things close to the vest. They look ahead, they play chess, they make moves for the future that people don't understand in the present. And that is something I believe if you are a Knicks fan, you should understand and trust in. The reason the Knicks won the championship began with that front office. Okay? It started with them. It started with the hiring of Leon Rose, and then it went from there to the development of what we now have. So the Knicks are the champions, and what does that mean? When you're the NBA champ, if you think of any other, if you could take your heart off of New York and just for a second and just look objectively, all NBA champions, once they win the chip, become the hunted team, number one. And number two, everybody's trying to copy them because the NBA is a copycat league. Everybody else wants to know, what did they do to win the championship? How did they do it? What kind of players did they have? What kind of style did they run? How was they coach? And everybody's trying to copy that. Okay, and it's difficult. I mentioned this before. It's difficult for other teams to copy what the Knicks just did, because in order to do that, you would need to have a player like Karl Anthony Towns at the 5, and who can play a point center. You would need to have Jalen Brunson as your closer. Listen, I would be conservative and say, there's not more than 3 centers like Karl Anthony Towns in the NBA. You can't they don't grow on trees like this guy. Okay? Getting him, and that was the front office, obtaining him was the beginning of the championship window being open. Many people don't understand that, still don't get it. Okay? They go overboard on expectations and start tripping when it's not warranted. Okay? And that's when you get a lot of clickbait. People will put Knicks' name and clickbait stuff up there all day, every day. Okay, if you want to go for that, go for it. But me, myself, I hate lying. I hate stuff that's fake. I don't want to deal with it. Okay, and people always get mesmerized by it, then bring it to my channel. And then they don't understand why I don't want to talk to you about it, why I get, no. So you can't just go get a Karl Anthony Towns. And if you know anything about Jalen Brunson, you will understand that he has worked his tail off. Not in the NBA, before that, when he was in college, before he was in high school, when he was in junior. By the time Jalen Brunson got to high school in Chicago, he was on varsity already. He was a freshman, undersized, on varsity as a 14-year-old, okay? and fit there. Okay, and then they won 2 straight championships with him. That was the beginning. Then he goes to Villanova and a big time program, okay? And he had a lot of competition of young guys like a young Dante DiVincenzo coming to the campus before, and challenging him 2 championships. Okay? Then he's drafted, all his Villanova teammates were drafted ahead of him in the draft. He goes in the 2nd round. Okay, he's the MVP. He's the best player on that team that won 2 chips, and he's drafted in the 2nd round. So this guy has been in the fire his whole basketball life. This ain't nothing new to him. That is why you could see a 29-point comeback. That's why you could see a 22-point comeback. That's why you could see a don't give up mentality. It's Jalen Brunson. And then you add to him, or should I say he was added to a Tom Thibodeau at the time, another never say die hard, fight to the end coach, which was familiar with the Brunson family for more than 20 years. Now you have, and you add to that Villanova connections on the NBA level between Jalen, McCall, and Josh Hart, and you got the makings of a nucleus that it'd be hard for any other team to duplicate that. You'd have to have all of those elements. Guys that have known each other during their formative years, guys that have won championships in college together, guys that have been training since they were little boys. You got to have all of those elements to copy the Knicks. Okay? Then you go and build a bench. Okay? You bring Mitchell Robinson, who was also drafted by Scott Perry in the 2nd round, to the bench. You preserve him because he has been disappointing us for a while. We would be hoping this would be the year every year, and Mitch Rob would be who we thought he was, and then about December, even admitted itself, every December he'd get hurt. Okay, and then we're looking for him to come back to make a run. This time, with his management team and the Knicks management team, with his personal representation, they decided to make him a bench piece. That was a turning point. Now, here we are going into the off season, and I'm talking about guys that you can replace and guys that you can duplicate and guys you can't. You can't exactly duplicate Mitchell Robinson because of several factors, not only his size, agility that he has, his rim protecting ability, but his offensive rebounding. He is the best offensive rebounder in basketball. Been that way for a few years now. It's just come out in big time because we won the chip. And of course, the key offensive rebound in the finals to seal the deal for the Knicks in beating the Spurs 4-1. So, what do you do about that? Well, you don't look in those scenarios, and this is what I try to tell people. A lot of people come out here and, oh, we're done. We don't have Mitch, because there's a lot of idiots out here that are just emotionally detached and start making stupid suggestions and comments when they don't even know what's going on. That is what drives me crazy about people that mention people like Kevon Looney. Did you actually look at Kevon Looney's career? Did you actually look at how old he is? Did you actually look at him? Golden State didn't renew him. He had to go to New Orleans to get paid, and he got 2 years, and that's about the length that you're going to get from him? See? Or people kept mentioning Moses Brown, whose legs are so heavy. He can dominate lesser players in the G League because of his size. He will get eaten up, and he has, in the NBA. That's why he has not stuck with any team. Or, so you haven't really looked at only his G League highlights. Somebody said to me the other day, well, we should look into this other guy because he dominated us in Summer League. Summer League? And then Jonathan Isaac. Oh, he got released. We need to get him. See, that's the old mentality. Because we're looking for any talent anywhere that has a name. Bring him on. When you're a champion, you got a formula. You got a culture. You got to have players that fit the formula and the culture. Fit. Jonathan Isaac hasn't been the same since he wrecked his ACL. He's not the same player that came out of Florida State being tutelaged by Leonard Hamilton. He's not the same guy. Okay? Most people don't even look that far to understand that. You really want to be careful looking at players that another team has given up on when you're a champion. Okay? So if Orlando waived him, that should tell you something. Like, you don't want nothing to do with that. Okay? He ain't all of a sudden going to become a superstar because the Knicks get him. And so, in the position the Knicks now are in, it's important. We all understood that we'd like to just run back this team. Most of us that have any understanding at all, you really want to run back this team. They just dominated the NBA in the playoffs. They dominated the NBA so thoroughly in the playoffs. Look at this. The Hawks won 2 games, and everybody was on the Hawks bandwagon. Oh, the Knicks going to lose in 7. Oh, the Knicks going to lose in 6. Until the Knicks decided to go to Cat. Game over. The juggernaut continued. It was already started, but for some reason they went away from Cat in them first 3 games of the ATL series, lost 2 games by 1 point each. They learned from that. Cat got unleashed. Game over. From that series, it was 4-2, 4-0, 4-0, 4-1. I don't care what Wembanyama and them say about they gonna bend, they're the better team. You know, we heard Embiid say the same BS when we was beating they behind too. But that's the record. So if you look back in the NBA annals now, years from now, whenever, you're going to look back and you're going to see the Knicks 2026 NBA champions, and you're going to see this. Beat the Spurs 4-1. Beat Cleveland Cavaliers 4-0. You're going to see that, okay? So it's 4-2, 4-0, beat Philly 4-0. 4-0. Sweet. So you have a dominant team. They dominate you because they execute. They have, again, 2 players nobody else has. They got a culture, okay? And the players are used to playing together. Again, I kept mentioning year after year the importance of continuity. When everybody, see, before Tibbs, before the Don, the Knicks would change rosters every year. It was crazy, and we would all have hope because maybe this roster will gel. You don't build a winner like that. You got to have proper fit. And the Don and his crew understand that. And now the fit came to the point where you won a championship. So you're now wanting to run it back. But then, based on the modern NBA, there's financial issues to be considered, which brings us to Mitchell Robinson. So at this moment, you're not going to get Mitchell Robinson. I know people are still hoping because that's what Knicks fans do. They hope when in the face of facts. The fact is, the Knicks only have $9 million to spend right now. They can't give it all to Mitchell Robinson, even if he was going to take it, because you need to field 14 players. They got 11 under contract, okay? So you can't give it to Mitchell Robinson. He is out the door. And I wish people would stop suggesting we can restructure this or do that. No, he's gone, okay? He's going to get his bag, bless him. So what do? We try our best to fill the hole that he is leaving. Now, I mentioned this before, and I wish somebody would pay attention. You're not going to get somebody that's exactly like Mitchell Robinson. But you could get somebody that rolls with the team fit better than Mitchell Robinson. Why do I say that? Again, I mentioned Diabate, I mentioned Misi, I mentioned Bona. Those are young dudes, so all of them have at least the same motor as Mitchell Robinson. All of them are at least active defensively as Mitchell Robinson. They can't all offensive rebound like Mitchell Robinson, but who can? So you can't just expect to replace what Mitchell Robinson does and just, think, no. But just because they can't offensive rebound like Mitchell Robinson doesn't mean they can't offensive rebound. Doesn't mean the Knicks can't restructure and coalesce around a new guy and keep rolling, because you're talking about a bench piece. You're not even talking about the starting 5. We tripping over bench pieces now. So right now, you bring back the same starting 5. You have now signed Diawara, who many of us, if you're watching basketball, this guy being drafted in the late second round, is a steal. He's a steal. He's 21 years old, 6'9", 7-foot wingspan. Some people say 6'10" even. 7-foot wingspan. He has already shown an aptitude, both sides of the ball. Getting to the basket, shooting threes, guarding 1 through 5. And he's only 21. So they re-signed him first. So that tells you they're really placing importance on keeping this young man. 4 years. So now, whatever the salary cap, you got him. He's locked. We got him for 4 years. That's going to be important because he's not even going to be at the beginning of his prime when we're done with this contract, and he's getting better every year. And you best believe he's going to get a lot more time. There were a few games this past season, the championship season, that he started. And people would be surprised. He's starting DOR. The coach smartly used all of his talent he could use, unlike Tibbs. And he would use the 82-game grind as training ground for a guy that was going to be important later, Diawara. Okay? So we got him. You got back Grand Theft Alvarado, who everybody was excited about, from New York, coming to New York from New Orleans. Big role in the finals, big role in the playoffs, spark plug, got him. Then the big deal is to get Landry Shamet, and most people forget this. I haven't even mentioned it, which is surprising to me. It wasn't just, I knew y'all know, I've been telling y'all we're going to get Landry Shamet back, but it wasn't just that. It was the number that his first year salary is, 5.3. See, that number allows us to be in a position right now where we have signed 11 guys and got enough money to get 3 more and fill out the 14-man roster that you're required to have in the league. So, the next big shoe to drop is Ariel Hukporti. They didn't give him a qualifying offer because I think they're trying to get him on a more longer-term deal. And in terms of NBA players, that's, again, I mentioned they want to get the chip, but they want to get a bag. Now, a bag is different for every guy. A bag for Cat is $57 million this coming year. But for Hukporti, a bag could be a 4-year guaranteed deal in $10 million range. So he, just like Diawara, that would fit. He's not over the second apron, and he's going to be in the rotation. Okay? Now, well, let me not just assume he's going to be in the rotation. He's going to be needed. You're going to need him. Just like everybody's going to play at some point in an 82-game schedule. It's always the case. People try to lock up, like, and say, oh, these are going to be the guys, or who starts. Yeah, who starts is important, but how deep you are in this modern NBA is more important. How deep you are. How many games did the Knicks win? For example, the closeout game in Atlanta. How did they win that? Deuce came off the bench and knocked down 7 threes. How did they beat Cleveland coming back from 29 down? Jalen Brunson did Jalen Brunson, and Alvarado came off the bench and was victimizing the Spurs. Okay? How did they win the chip? The biggest offensive rebound they needed to get all year in 53 years, Mitchell Robinson got it. Kicked the ball back out to Shamet, who's off the bench, and we win that game. That's why. Everybody gets to play. You know, you're going to limit now. I would be surprised if there was more than a 10-man rotation, but they're going to end up playing as many as 12 guys during the course of the year. You're going to see who Diawara starts some games. You're going to see different things happen this year. Okay? So going forward right now, the most important thing is to first get Ariel Hukporti back, which I'm thinking right now. I thought it would happen yesterday, but it makes sense. He's going to be unrestricted. He's unrestricted as officially today, but I feel very strongly he's going to come back to the Knicks on a longer term deal. And the Knicks have just been working with him on that. And again, this is the dynamic. People are questioning the Knicks management ability when they say, oh, they failed to get offer qualifying. They didn't fail anything. They're being strategic. And whatever happens, you're going to find out later. They've been talking to Ariel Hukporti. Didn't just start just because you found out on X yesterday. The Knicks been talking to him. Okay? And so they're trying to get that worked out. Hopefully they do soon. Next thing is to get another center. And I mentioned the guys I liked, but to get another center that's going to do this. That's going to battle with Hukporti for the backup 5. You don't want to just hand it to Hukporti. You want him to battle somebody. See, if you're talking about Kevon Looney, that ain't no battle. Hukporti beat it behind. Okay, that ain't no battle. But you're trying to get somebody to push Hukporti so Hukporti earns that spot because that's a rotation spot. Okay, so Eve Missy, Diabate, Bona, or somebody similar. You get that, and now you have a healthy competition between two guys for the backup five. Everybody's gonna play now, but you want that guy that's gonna push and get and earn that spot so that everybody sees they earned it. Okay, and then come playoff time, you're gonna be ready. 82 game grind prepares you for the playoffs. Okay, so that's that. So now you get Hukporti on board. Now you'll have 12 guys, and you need two others. Now, one of the rookies, they already told you he's going back to Germany, so don't even worry about him. The other guy, I got a feeling he's going to be a two-way. They get 3 two-way guys. I think that nickel is going to be a two-way. That way they don't have to count his salary against the cap, and they'll pick 2 other two-way guys. I don't know if it's going to be McCullough. I don't know if it's going to be Jemison. I don't know if it's going to be a guy that comes out of Summer League, because we don't even know. They're going to have a whole bunch of undrafted guys in Summer League, okay? So we'll see, but they'll fill that out. So we don't worry about the cap with the two ways. So we got to get another 5 to fill in. Now, I'm hoping they bring back Clarkson. So Clarkson, who just won a chip in New York. I don't care that Phoenix wants him. Clarkson's not looking for a bag right now. He's looking for a chip. He's going to come back here on a minimum deal. Then you're going to want to get, I hope we get Sohan back. I'd like to get Sohan back. Another 6'9" guy that can guard a 5, guard a 4, guard a 3. You want somebody like that. Can't shoot that well, but you really want somebody with motor and defense, and that's Sohan. Okay, that's him. So we can fill out the roster. That's no problem. It's just a question of who they're bringing back. Okay, so they can't bring back everybody. They can't bring back everybody. Like, in other words, like, they can't bring Jemison back on a regular NBA contract. We don't have the room. Okay, but can we keep him? Yes, we could keep him, but he'll have to be a two-way if we kept him. So that's up to Jemison. Okay, same thing with McCullough. McCullough, as everybody sees when he gets healthy, and the Knicks were very patient with him because we see the potential for him to be the Josh Hart replacement in about 2 seasons. So I think they're going to try to hold on to him, but if he can get a regular NBA contract somewhere, we may not be able to hold on to him because we can't really even afford a minimum deal. Or the Knicks are going to use the slot that I'm just suggesting would go to Sohan for McCullough. So we'll see. That's another we'll see. But right now, as I'm speaking to you today, the Knicks have 11 players under contract. We need to get 3 more. And we got the money at $9 million to get 3 more and remain under the second apron. Another thing, I'm really, people keep coming at me again about Dolan now. That's old, man. Dolan is running interference for the Don. That's the whole plan. They never was going to bring Mitch back. Because they know he's going to cost more than they wanted to pay. Not just for a guy that comes off their bench, but for a guy that has a long injury history. That's why I was surprised when I saw Portland sign Robert Williams III, 4 years, $44 million. I was like, what? The guy never played over 59 games in his career. And you're going to sign him for guaranteed money? See, that's silly. We learned from Mitchell Robinson. Love Mitch Rob. And Mitch Rob's value going forward is going to be coming off the bench. It ain't going to be starting. Because he starts, one thing you can guarantee, he's going to get hurt. Okay? If he comes off the bench even, this past season, what happened? The pinky was the big deal. The pinky, he broke the pinky. Okay. But see, you're trying to stop him from getting hurt and maintain that value he has coming off the bench. The Knicks did it excellency this last year. But if you can get a young boy that's 23, 24, ain't going to get hurt, can hit free throws, and an athletic freak like Misi, like Diabate or Bona, if you can get somebody like that, okay, we ain't got to worry about them getting hurt. Bring him on. That makes the Knicks better. Okay, so we'll see how they work out now. Ariel Hukporti could be that guy. 7 feet tall, 7 foot wingspan, really good. A bad boy in terms of he got motor. He will block shots. He will protect the rim. He's learning the NBA game. Very difficult to do at the 5 spot in the NBA. But this is his 3rd season. He's coming into where you want him to be in the league as an athletic 5 in the 3rd season. I got all confidence in Ariel Hukporti. So if they sign Ariel and he ends up being Mitch's replacement off the bench, we're good. Y'all need to understand, we ain't losing nothing. We good. Okay, and the 82 game grind that the boy gonna go through this year in his third year, being the guy now that's a rotation piece, is gonna make him that much better when you get to next year's playoffs. Okay, so Ariel Hukporti would be fine. Somebody say Ariel Hukporti ain't it. That's because you don't know basketball. If you've been paying any attention, the boy's ready. Okay, it takes time to develop a player. Okay, it's like wine. You can get the grapes today, but the wine ain't ready today. You got to put it in the barrel, and it's got to sit for a few years before it's ready. That's like NBA centers and point guards. Look at Tyler Kolek. Tyler Kolek came into the league, big reputation as a passer with vision. He got that, but couldn't stay on the court because he couldn't stay in front of nobody. Now he can. It took a couple of seasons and a lot of hard work, a lot of hours in the gym. And playing with Jalen Brunson. That helped the boy. So now we got Tyler Kolek, a legit point guard. We could use that on our roster, or if they want to trade that as a very valuable piece to get a Diabate, we could do that too. But we got him. Okay, so right now, when you're talking about pure point guards on the Knicks, Jalen Brunson, right? You got Jalen Brunson, you got Alvarado, and you got Tyler Kolek. Then you got a combo guard in Deuce that he can handle the ball, he can shoot the ball, and he can defend anybody 1 through 3 because of his height on the NBA floor. And he's already shown that. Now, with respect to the risk of Deuce leaving, which we've been hearing a lot about because people ain't got nothing else to talk about, that depends on Cat. Deuce's Knick future depends on Karl Anthony Towns. Many people not understanding that, but that's the truth. Karl Anthony Towns, if he takes a discount, right? If he takes a discount for his $61 million a year, if he does that, then, depending on the discount, the Knicks have enough room to re-sign Deuce and not kill himself. They can re-sign Deuce, and what's going to be the leverage for Deuce? Josh Hart. Why do I say that? Okay. They might be thinking about trading Deuce if he don't sign because they don't want to let him walk for nothing. Somebody's going to give him some good money. Okay. But they don't want to mess with Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart. That's the Villanova connection. See? So what Cat said, some of y'all pointed out, there's a few years ago, whenever, Cat is going to sit down in a room with some of those players. And they're going to discuss what needs to be done to run the band back. And Cat's decision will affect not only Deuce, but Josh. Because right now, Josh needs to extend. They need Josh extended. This is Josh's last year guaranteed at about $21 million. I don't think he's going to get more than that per season. I think Josh will take less. And I don't mean like a ton less. I'm talking about he'll probably take a 354, which is 18 a year, which is a reduction from 21 by 3. Okay, that adds to the second apron. Okay, so, but you need room to do that. And Cat is the guy that will provide the room. So Cat takes a discount from his $61 million that he's due in the season following this coming one. That opens up opportunity for Deuce, for Josh. It opens up opportunity. And the thing is that with respect to Deuce, you have a guy that's a proven NBA level defender on the Marcus Smart level, and now has shown a propensity to get hot and knock down them threes. You need that, okay? And is now 25. He's gonna be 26. Come September, he'll be 26. So you want that on your team, okay? And especially a championship team, and it's already proven. Like I said, he didn't have a great Spurs series, but he had a great Atlanta series, okay? And any guy that's going to help you move forward in the playoffs, you want that guy, okay? That's what I'm saying. So it's hard to replace that on the championship roster. So you got him. You got him under control. And I know there have already been talk that there's negotiations going on between Deuce's people and the Knicks. But I really feel Deuce wants to stay in New York, and the Don wants him to stay. So, and how the Don's been doing business is he's getting the players. Somebody said, well, how does he get Shamet on a discount when he could have got more money. Well, we don't really know for sure how much Shamet was offered, but Shamet's value to me was maximized at about $8 million a year. So you're really talking about 4 years, $32 million. So he did take a discount, but he's on a chip team. So he's getting, listen, I ain't sneezing at no 24 million. Okay? I ain't sneezing at that. So he's getting 24 million guaranteed money, and he's on a championship team. That's the best of both worlds. So the Don can now sell you just the way Pat Riley did. LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, especially LeBron and Bosh. Pat Riley needed all three of them to take discounts to come together on Miami. The first choice was not Bosh, it was Melo. But Melo said, I ain't taking no shorts on the money. And that's why he didn't end up in Miami from Denver. They wanted him there, but he wasn't taking no shorts, which worked out because Melo was he was a great talent. There's no doubt. To say Melo, is a Hall of Famer is really academic. But Melo was never a championship piece. I never thought of him as a championship piece. LeBron, from when he came in the league, he was a championship piece. The difference being LeBron makes everybody around him better no matter how scrubby they are. And he has one championship. He won a chip in Cleveland with not a great roster. It was really him, Irving, and some other dudes that wanted a ring. And he won the chip. See, Melo couldn't do that. Melo could get on the team and average 30, and y'all could still lose more than you win. That's not a championship piece. Okay? Championship piece causes everybody around him to improve and helps the team win. And people can't discern that. But when they went to Miami, they all took discounts at the time. The discount, I think they were taking like $14 million a year when they could have got 20. But they all took $14 million to come together to make that big three. And then, of course, they won 2 more championships. So when you can convince a player that it's in the best interest of a championship, that you can get paid, but you really can win the chip, you'll get a discount. That's why I'm 90% sure Karl Anthony Towns is going to take a discount. The question is when he's going to do it. Is he going to do it now when he can extend this summer? Or is he going to wait to see how the team does? I don't know. I would like him to do it now because then we could put to bed all talk about trading Deuce, about Josh, put to bed all that talk because he done made the room with his discount. So we'll see. Going forward, we will see. But that's going to be the big deal. But for now, the Knicks have 11 players under contract. There is no problem getting another 3 that we need. The biggest one is Ariel Hukporti, followed by whoever the 5 is. They get to compete with Ariel. But we really, right now, once Ariel is signed, we pretty ready. We pretty ready because now you're going to get back, like I said, you're going to get back either Sohan, McCullough. You ain't hurting there. And, and then you already got Diawara and you already got Alvarado. So you good, okay? As far as that, you just need some more size. Ariel Hukporti solves that problem with whoever else you might get to battle with him. But those are minor things. That's not like the major problem here. The Knicks can solve that. The Knicks been in many bigger spots than that trying to get a roster together. So we good, y'all. Really, we good. So right now, I'm waiting that shoe to drop, the Ariel Hukporti extension or re-signing, and then see if we can get Clarkson back in here. Clarkson going to be 34 this year, but Clarkson really, we only need him for about 8 to 12 minutes a game. And for that type of time, he can play at a high level. You don't need Clarkson for 40 minutes. You need him between 8 and 12 minutes. Can he give you, what you're used to seeing from Jordan Clarkson for that time? Well, he's already proven he can. So if he can do that, you got a nice end of the bench piece you can call on, which Mike Brown did at times during the course of the season, and Clarkson came through. So we'll see. But the Knicks' problems are minor. The league is going crazy. Everybody like Brian Windbag talking about it, BSP, everybody understands that they got to try to catch the Knicks. And it's not going to be easy to do, especially if the Knicks just focus on the Knicks and get these last few pieces. You got the same starting 5. Okay, that's a huge thing. The bench, the depth of the bench is going to be solidified now. And so once that's done, everybody's chasing New York again. And we going for that double, that second, that repeat, back-to-back type thing. That's what we doing, okay? y'all enjoy your Wednesday. We'll talk soon. Shalom.